Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another financial planning video. My name is Erin Varghese, and I'm a financial planner here at Pure Portfolios. In today's video, we are going to be talking all about the power of an estate plan and Pure Portfolios' newest partnership with Estately. Before we get into some details, we want to address a common misconception about estate planning. Most people say, I don't have an estate, so I don't need to worry about estate planning. But here's the truth, everyone has an estate. You might associate the term estate with sprawling mansions or massive bank accounts. However, in the context of estate planning, it's much simpler than that. Your estate is essentially everything that you own. This could be cash and bank accounts, your property, whether it's a house or a car, your personal belongings like furniture, jewelry, machinery, and even your pets are considered part of your estate. So whether your estate is large or small, having a plan in place is crucial because it ensures that your loved ones and your belongings are taken care of according to your wishes when you pass away. As important as estate planning is, many Americans have not taken the time to write and finalize their will or revocable trust. In fact, almost 2/3 of Americans understand that having a will is important, but only about 34% of Americans have an up-to-date estate plan in place. There's a lot of reasons given for this, but procrastination comes out as number one. Some other reasons for the delay include not knowing how to make a will, the fear that the process will be too expensive or too complicated, or that the person has no individual heirs to whom they can leave assets to. While the reasons for a delay can be valid, estate planning can be quick and easy with the right tools, and that's why we're here today. So on our agenda, we are going to touch on why having a plan is so important for you and your loved ones. We'll talk about the key differences between a will and a trust. We'll discuss how to actually make an estate plan and how our partnership with Estately allows us to make estate planning easier than ever for our clients. Before we begin, I have to emphasize that this is not intended for legal or tax advice. Pure Portfolios can offer general information about estate planning, but you should also confer with your attorney or tax advisor for details specific to your situation. So first, let's dive into what estate planning actually is and some of the reasons as to why it's so important. At a high level, estate planning is about creating a set of legal documents that determines what happens to your property after you pass away. But at its core, it's much more comprehensive than that. Estate planning allows you to choose a guardian for your minor children, you can specify your wishes for healthcare decisions, you can designate someone to make financial decisions on your behalf. A lot of people pass on family heirlooms or treasured possessions to specific individuals, and you can make donations to charities that you care about. This process involves creating these plans and keeping them updated over time. The main documents in an estate plan typically include a last will and testament or a living trust. It can include an advanced healthcare directive and a financial power of attorney. It will also include organization and maintenance of beneficiaries on financial accounts like a 401k or a life insurance policy that aren't typically held in trust. Having a will is crucial for everyone, no matter how much or how little you own. It ensures that your final wishes are known and your loved ones are taken care of after you're gone. It also lets you decide what happens to your stuff, for your kids and even your pets. If you don't have a will, you're leaving big decisions up to the courts and state laws. You won't get a say into who gets your things or who looks after your kids. Plus, it can make things really tough for your family after you're gone. We've got 10 important reasons to have an estate plan up on the screen, but we'll touch on just 2 today. Number 1, making things easier for your family. Almost all estates have to go through probate court to start the legal process of distributing assets. But when you don't have a will, this process can get really complicated. The court has to name someone to handle your estate, which can take a lot of time, it can cost a lot of money, and sometimes it can cause arguments among your loved ones. Having a will makes this whole process much smoother. It's one of the best things that you can do to save your family time, money, and stress during an already tough time. The second most important reason that we will cover today is picking who's in charge. This is extremely important when it comes to estate planning. So when you make your will, you'll be able to choose your executor. This is the person who will be in charge of wrapping up all of your affairs. It's a big job that can include everything from closing bank accounts to selling property, so you should choose someone who's good at handling these kinds of things. If you don't choose an executor in your will, the court will pick someone for you, and it might not be the person who you want. Before we dive into how to create a will, let's look at the differences between wills and trusts to help figure out what you might need. These are both tools that you can use to say what happens to your stuff after you're gone, but they work in a couple different ways. A will is like a set of instructions that you leave behind. It's a legal document where you spell out who gets what after you pass. This includes things like your house, car, bank accounts, and even your pets. But here's the thing, a will only kicks in after you die, and it has to go through a court process called probate. This means that it becomes public information. It also requires regularly updating with any major life changes. Generally recommended every 3 to 5 years. Now, a living trust is a little bit different. It's like creating a special box for your stuff. put all of your assets into this quote-unquote box and pick someone called a trustee to manage it. Many people choose to be their own trustee at first, which means that you control everything while you're alive. The cool thing about a trust is that it starts working as soon as you set it up. It doesn't have to go through probate, so things can happen faster and move more privately after you're gone. But what's the downside? You have to keep updating it whenever you get new stuff. Both wills and trusts have their own pros and cons, and which one is right for you depends on your specific situation. Now, you might be wondering, do I need a trust or is a will good enough? While a simple will works for many people, there are some situations where a trust might be a better fit, so let's go through them. First, a trust can be really helpful if you have a lot of assets or if your financial situation is complicated. It can help speed up the process of transferring your assets to your heirs by avoiding the potentially lengthy probate process. So here's something that most people don't think about. If you own property in more than one state, each property might have to go through a separate probate process, and that could be a real headache for your family. A trust can help simplify things by avoiding probate altogether. If privacy is a big concern for you, listen up. Remember how we said wills can become public record? If you'd rather keep the details of your estate private, a trust might be the way to go. It can protect the identities of your beneficiaries and keep the specifics of who gets what under wraps. There are a few special circumstances where a trust can be particularly useful. If you have minor children, a trust can manage the assets for them until they're old enough to inherit, and it gives you more control over how and when they get the money. If you have a beneficiary with special needs, a special needs trust can help ensure that they receive the assets without losing any government benefit. And in the case of blended families, a trust can help you provide for both your current partner and children from a previous relationship. Now, does this mean that everyone needs a trust? Not necessarily. Many folks with straightforward situations, a will is still a great option. It's simpler to set up and to maintain. The key things to think about is your specific situation. Do you have a complex estate? Do you own property in multiple states? Do you have privacy concerns or special family circumstances? If so, a trust might be worth considering. Keep in mind that estate planning is not a one-size-fits-all. It's all about finding the right fit for you and your family. So whether you choose a will or a trust, the important thing is that you are taking steps to protect your loved ones and to ensure that your wishes are carried out. Now, if you're not sure which one is best for you, a great idea is to talk to an estate planning professional who can help you navigate these decisions and create a plan that gives you peace of mind. Now, your estate plan isn't a set it and forget it document. It needs to be updated regularly to reflect the changes in your life and your wishes. So here's what you need to know. As a general rule of thumb, we recommend updating your estate plan every 3 to 5 years. However, there are certain life events that should trigger an immediate review. This could be getting married or divorced, having children or grandchildren. This could be buying a house, moving to a different state, and if one of your beneficiaries or executors passes away. It's a great idea to remember to review your will every year just to make sure that nothing has changed. For example, many people choose to review their wills during tax season. This is because property and financial assets are already top of mind. Remember, your estate plan should always reflect your current situations and wishes. Regular updates ensure that your plan will work as intended when the time comes. If you've experienced any of these life changes, or it's been a few years since you looked at your will, now might be a good time to review and update the estate plan. By staying on top of these updates, you ensure that your final wishes will be carried out exactly how you intended, and you're making things easier for your loved ones during what will already be a difficult time. So, one of the reasons that we're making this video today is that Pure Portfolios has been looking for a way to make estate planning easier and more accessible to all of our clients. So, to accomplish this, we have partnered with a company called Estately. So, we'll talk about what Estately is right now. Estately is part of a social tech company called FreeWill that has created a free and easy-to-use online will writing tool. And FreeWill has created another version of its software called Estately to make it easier for advisors like us to help you with estate planning. So we've met with their team, we vetted their software, and we feel confident that you are getting access to the best product on the market. Estately is the largest digital estate planning company where over 1 million estate plans have been created using their software. It's also the most trusted estate planning software with a 4.9 out of 5-star rating on Trustpilot by people who've created estate plan on their software. And they work with some of the most respected companies in the nonprofit and the financial services industries. Our Estately partner website allows you to write your legal will or revocable trust in 30 minutes or less. Knowing that estate planning can feel confusing or even intimidating to people, Estately set out to build a simple tool that anyone can use from the comfort of their home to create their estate planning documents. We feel like this tool is warm and intuitive to use, and it guides you through all the necessary steps to write your legal will or revocable trust. You'll finish the process with a legal document, which, once printed and signed according to the included instructions, will be legally binding. Then you can simply store it in a safe and secure place, making sure that the person you've chosen as your executor, personal representative, or trustee knows exactly where it is. And yeah, it's that simple. So the benefits of our partnership with Estately include the ability to write your plan from the comfort of your home. You can complete your plan in just 20 to 30 minutes, and the final legal document is fully customized to your wishes. If you have a large estate or a complex family situation, you can use Estately to draft your wishes before seeing an attorney. This can help you save time and money in the process. And finally, if a revocable trust better suits your needs, Estately offers residents of all 50 states in the U.S. and the District of Columbia the option to create a revocable living trust. So if you are ready to write or update your estate plan, or if you have any questions about the process, you need further guidance, or you're wondering how this fits into your broader financial situation, go ahead and contact us by phone or by email at insight@pureportfolios.com. If you have any questions, we'd be happy to chat with you and talk about how Estately fits into your financial plan. Thanks so much for watching this video, and if you have any questions, you can always leave a comment below. Don't forget to hit subscribe and like this video if you like our content, and we will see you in the next one. Bye!